Okay, so like, remember all that buzz about chatbots a while back?
Yeah.
It felt like we were getting a sneak peek at like the future or something.
Right.
But get this, we're way beyond just, chatting now.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about AI that can actually do things, not just talk about them.
Yeah, it's this whole new breed of AI, or what we call AI agents.
Yeah.
And they're not just programs, but entities that can actually, like, perceive their environment. They can make decisions, and then they can actually take action based on those decisions, which is wild.
Okay, so not just talking, but doing.
Exactly.
That changes everything.
Yeah, and the research paper that we're looking at, The Rise and Potential of Large Language Models,
Yeah.
it really lays out how this is all possible.
Okay.
And basically, it all comes down to large language models, or LLMs, being like the driving force behind these agents.
Okay, so LLMs, that's the same tech behind all those crazy smart chatbots, right?
Exactly.
So what makes them so special for this whole agent thing?
Well, LLMs have this unique combination of like key advantages that make them perfect for this. First off, they're incredible learners, right? So they can absorb like massive amounts of information from text or code, and that gives them a huge knowledge base to draw from.
Right.
And second, they're really, really good at following instructions, even super complex ones.
Okay.
But here's the really cool part. They even demonstrate like a degree of creativity, which is kind of wild.
Whoa, wait, hold up. So you're saying that they're not just following a script.
Right.
They can actually like think for themselves.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah.
They can take what they've learned and then apply it in like new and unexpected ways.
That is very impressive. The paper actually mentions an example of an AI agent that can not only like read and understand a web page, but it can actually like interact with it.
Yeah.
Like, if you're browsing your bank's website or booking a flight, instead of you having to sit there and click and type everything out, this AI agent could do all of that for you.
Right. They could even be better at it.
Talk about a time saver.
Oh, yeah. Imagine this. Like you need to book a last-minute flight who has time to sit there and scroll through all the options and, compare prices. Your AI agent could do all that for you. It could even like learn your preferences and then find you the absolute best deal while you focus on, way more important things.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about. That is so cool. But it gets even like wilder than that, right? Because this isn't just limited to like the online world. These agents could potentially interact with the real world too.
Absolutely, yeah. We talk about AI agents that could like control robots, navigate physical spaces, even manipulate objects. It's like the possibilities are endless.
That's incredible.
But before we get too ahead of ourselves, let's take a closer look at how these AI agents are actually built. Like what actually goes into creating these intelligent systems, because it's pretty amazing.
Okay, I'm hooked. We've talked about LLMs being the brains, but what else makes up these AI agents? How do they actually perceive and interact with their surroundings?
It's kind of like, how we build a human, but with code.
Yep.
You need a brain.
Yeah.
You need senses. And then you need a way to act on the world.
Right. Okay. I'm with you so far.
Okay, so we've already talked about the brain. That's where the LLM comes in, right? That houses all the knowledge, like the reasoning power, the language processing capabilities.
Right.
It's like the control center of the agent.
Makes sense.
So then how about the senses? Like how does an AI agent see or hear or even like touch its environment?
Yeah. How do they do that?
Well, that's where things get really, really interesting.
Yeah.
So it's all about like how the agent takes in information, right? So we're talking like text, like reading a news article, or even like a social media post.
Okay.
But also like images, like recognizing objects in a photo, or even understanding like the emotions on someone's face in a video.
Wait, hold up. So they can actually understand emotions in videos? That's wild.
Yeah.
The paper touched on LLMs being able to process visual information. Is that what you're talking about?
Exactly, yeah. So LLMs are being trained to go way beyond like just basic image recognition, right? They're learning to truly like understand the meaning behind images and even videos, which is incredible.
Wow.
It's like teaching them to watch a movie.
Wow.
Right? And not just see like the moving pictures, but to actually grasp like the plot, the characters, even the emotions involved, which is amazing.
So it's like these AI agents are developing like a form of digital perception. It's fascinating and a little bit creepy at the same time.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And this brings us to the body of the agent, right?
Okay.
And so this is where all that like processing power, all that sensory input, it actually gets translated into action. So think of it like this, right? Like the agent sees a a ripe strawberry on a table, and it also receives the input, I am hungry.
Uh-huh.
Right? So the LLM brain, it processes this information, combines it with its knowledge that like strawberries are edible, and then it instructs the body to, pick up the strawberry and eat it.
Wow, that's amazing. So it's not just about like understanding the world, but also like physically interacting with it.
Exactly.
Okay, so what kind of actions are we talking about here?
Well, I mean, it could be as simple as like generating text, right? Like writing an email or, composing a social media post. Right. Or it could involve like, using tools like searching the internet or accessing databases or even like controlling a robotic arm in a factory setting.
Okay, now we're getting into some seriously futuristic territory. Well, this is like way beyond anything we've ever seen before. So are there actually like AI agents out there doing these things?
Yeah.
Really?
You bet. And the applications are already like incredibly diverse.
Yeah.
From making our like daily lives easier to like literally pushing the boundaries of scientific research, AI agents are already starting to like make a real impact on the world.
That's incredible. Okay, you've like totally blown my mind with this whole like AI agents with senses and bodies.
Yeah.
But let's bring it back down to earth for a sec. Like, what are these AI agents actually doing out there?
Well, for starters, like they're already making our lives way easier in a bunch of ways, right?
Okay.
It's like, remember that example of an AI agent like booking your flight for you?
Right, yeah.
Now, like, multiply that by 100. We're talking AI assistants that can like manage your calendar, like prioritize your inbox, even like write emails for you.
So it's like having a personal assistant.
Exactly.
But without the, coffee breaks and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, sign me up. That's amazing.
But it actually goes way beyond just like convenience. Right?
Okay.
Think about like the world of scientific research, for example.
Yeah.
This paper talks about how LLMs are already being used to like analyze these incredibly complex data sets, like way beyond what humans can do.
Wow.
They can design experiments. They can even help researchers like come up with new hypotheses. It's wild.
So we're not just talking about AI agents like making our lives easier. We're talking about like revolutionizing, like
exactly,
like entire fields of study.
Absolutely, yeah. Like imagine the possibilities in medicine, for example.
Yep.
AI agents could analyze massive genomic data sets to like identify potential drug targets or even predict like disease outbreaks before they happen.
That's incredible. It's a little scary, but incredible. But okay, so like as these AI agents become more and more like integrated into our world, are there any like potential downsides that we should be aware of, that we should be thinking about?
Yeah, I mean it's crucial to think about the like the ethical implications.
Oh, yes, of course.
As these AI agents become more sophisticated, questions about like transparency, accountability, even potential biases in the data.
Right.
Those are all things that like we really need to address.
For sure. The paper also mentioned something called agent societies.
Yeah.
What are those?
So agent societies are kind of like, they're like virtual labs where we can actually study how complex social systems work.
Okay.
So imagine like a simulated city.
Okay.
But it's populated by like thousands or even millions of AI agents.
Wow.
And each one of these agents has like its own unique set of, goals and behaviors, and they can all interact with each other.
Okay.
So researchers can use these simulations to study all kinds of things, like from traffic flow and urban planning to like how information spreads, how social trends emerge.
So it's like kind of like SimCity, but like on steroids.
Yeah. And like the really cool thing about this is like it has huge implications for like how we make policies.
Okay.
Right? Like imagine being able to test the impact of a new law or a new economic policy in a simulation before you actually implement it in the real world.
Wow. That would be amazing.
Right. So we could potentially avoid like, making costly mistakes.
Right. Or having like unintended consequences.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
It's pretty wild.
So this has been like a lot of really fascinating but kind of dense information.
Yeah.
So where do we go from here? Like, what does all of this actually mean for like, the average person, in the coming years?
Well, honestly, the pace of progress in this field is just, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Like it's moving so fast.
Yeah.
So while we can't like predict the future with like 100% certainty, I think one thing's for sure.
What's that?
AI agents are going to play a much, much bigger role in our lives moving forward.
Right.
And, from things like personalized education and healthcare to like smarter cities and a more sustainable future.
Right.
Like, honestly, the possibilities are kind of limitless.
Yeah, it really feels like we're like on the edge of this like technological revolution, and it's like exciting and terrifying all at the same time.
That's a great way to put it, yeah.
It is amazing, and it's a little scary, but it's definitely like the future's here.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I really appreciate you taking the time to, break all this down for us today.
Oh, yeah, it's been fun.
I think this has been like a really eye-opening deep dive.
It's fascinating stuff.
And I'm sure our listeners feel the same way.
Yeah, I hope so.
So yeah, thanks again for joining us. And for everyone listening, be sure to check back next time when we'll, continue to explore the cutting edge of AI.
Absolutely.
See you then.